interview with the ghost of Ramsey. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last part of our video, published in mid-April 20, called 3 Weapons to Kill Coronavirus, we released a special message saying that the corona epidemic will wilt by the end of May 5.20. Hydroxychloroquine anti-malarial drug is very effective against coronavirus. We promise to state the reason why we have such predictions in early June 20. Today, June 6, 20, in the context of the almost curbed corona epidemic, the U.S. government has reopened its normal activities. We present 3 paranormal methods, which we based on that, to predict the coronavirus epidemic. There are 3 parts as follows. The first part, the interview with the ghost of a young girl Janet Ramsey. Part 2, Mysterious Bob, also called dowsing or sixth sense. Part 3, foreshadowing, that is, we interpret according to the dream. Part 2. Hello to you. Following the interview with the ghost of little girl Janet Ramsey on April 7, 20. Friday, April 10, 20, we used the remote sensing method, also known as the sixth sense, to find out if is hydroxychloroquine medicine effective. See the blue calendar. As the corona disease is frightening around the world, there are treatments for malaria called hydroxychloroquine. President Trump said it is good medicine. The medical school says there is research for fear of side effects. Some Lin, I think objectively, do not know who is right, President Trump or doctors. So we have to ask the spirit to help. That's why we use the second method, called occult bob, or sixth sense, to ask if hydroxychloroquine is effective. This is an instrument, called a bob, like a mason's plumb bob. It was a pointed lump of iron, connected to a thread. It was a thread of cloth, not a metal thread. This bob can move in 4 directions. East-west is 1 direction, from north-south is 1 direction, northwest is 1 direction, southwest is 1 direction. This method can give 4 hypotheses, 4 questions, but only answer 1 question. For example, yes or no, right or wrong, 50% or 80%. We have often introduced this method to many journalists, and to prove that we don't rotate our hands or our fingers to influence the invisible thrust. So we have to rest our wrists on the corner of the desk. Initially the bob will move in a circle, then it stopped in the center of this stitch, and move in the direction of the arrow to show yes or no. Now it starts. It is moving clockwise. In a short time, the dot slowly stopped, then moved. in the direction it answered. It moves very accurately and very quickly into the word yes, meaning that there is some invisible force. Confirm hydroxychloroquine is effective. In our opinion, hydroxychloroquine is effective against coronavirus. But how effective, depending on the evaluation of the medical world. But personally, for a patient with coronavirus infection in a state of despair, waiting to die when there is no other medicine to save him, he should only try this medicine. Maybe he will escape death. Remember, there are only 2 weeks to live or die. Currently, there are many opinions about hydroxychloroquine. Let's wait for the final results. Sincerely thank you. Please watch our third part about 2 dreams that predicted the corona epidemic would no longer be a disaster for Americans. Part 3. Here, we invite you to continue to watch the third part of Sun Lin's 2 dreamy signs about coronavirus. Interpret the first omen. Coronavirus disease began to appear in a nursing home in Northern California and spread throughout the United States. The place where coronavirus attacked most brutally is New York. One night, Sun Lin dreamed that people were building a brick wall. When the wall was built quite high, it was discovered that there was a long crack running across the wall, dividing it. The wall is in 2 parts. The upper part may collapse, so one has to demolish it and rebuild it. See illustration image. I dreamed here when I woke up about midnight. Interpretation. My guess is that the prevention of the coronavirus epidemic is still in big trouble. It seems like only half of the plan has been completed, and have to pause or start over. Interpret the second omen. I dreamed that I went into a church. There were many people attending a mass. After the ceremony, I went to the churchyard, saw many people and their whole family was waiting in the yard along with luggage. Like they're waiting for a car to travel or coming home after a trip. I was also there to see off a family of my cousin to visit me. Now they returned home. I was helping him to check his luggage to see if there was anything forgotten in my house. Then I woke up. See illustration. Interpretation. From experience, I learned that when I went to church, there was good news. The proof is that during 14 years of imprisonment in the Vietnamese communist prison, every night I dreamed, including a dream in 1979, showing that I come to meet my sister in the United States, although after April 30, 1975, I did not know my sister was in there. Later, I will recount the dream, but I have never dreamed of going to church until 14 years later in 1989. When the Vietnamese Communist authorities released many political prisoners, many inmates were able to go home before me, and finally it was my turn. Conclusion. My dream of going to church, an omen not only for myself, but all people throughout the United States who are threatened with life from the coronavirus disease will be free from danger. Means God left. The disaster will end in the United States and around the world. Sun Lin, I hope good news will come to everyone. Goodbye, and we will continue to send you many videos on dreams, demons, fetus and mascot. Thank you for listening.